Hello everyone, my name is Trittany, and I'm the reader here at the Crown and Castle Collective, where we're all kings and queens of our own kingdom that we call life. He is too long of a boy to extend all the way out until the desk, so he knows he's not supposed to climb up there. But yeah, this is going to be a really exciting video. I'm really excited to do this video. He's really excited for me to do this video. I actually had this on the vote. If you subscribe, you can vote on what videos I post next about a Halloween special. Would you die or survive a horror movie? We are going to take a look into the actual plot and storyline of your horror film. Take a look at your character, of what you bring to the table, and would you survive or would you die? So there are three collectives to choose from. As always, the goodies are in the description box and all of the timestamps are always in the comments. So without further ado, the three collectives we have, you are going to fight for your right to live. So collective number one, or pile number one, you have just a regular good old-fashioned black throwing knife. This one is perfect point. These are actually mine. These ones are really nice. I mean, all throwing knives are nice. Collective number two, you have the G4 throwing knife. Collective number three, you also have another stainless steel, a good old-fashioned throwing knife. So go ahead, choose your weapon. And we are going to get started with collective number one if you choose the black stainless steel throwing knife. I'm not going to try to flip these because your girl just did her nails today and they're extra long. These are my Yaz bitch nails. It's almost my birthday. Okay, so collective number one, we will get started with you. Everyone else is going to go sit backstage. These bad boys. Ooh. Careful, guys. I had a blanket. I was good. It's the nails. They'll get you. Okay. So, pile number one. You guys are going to take a look at your overall character. Let me figure out how I want to arrange these, actually, because I kind of made up this spread myself, honestly. Didn't really plan to lay them out this way, but we'll take it. Okay. How she's looking? She's looking fabulous, and she's on set ready to go. Okay, so I'm usually not on the camera, so I haven't shown my face on this channel for a while. This is not my normal setup, so forgive it for looking bland, but this is going to be a really exciting video. If you guys haven't already, go ahead and subscribe to vote on what videos I post next. Hit the like if you feel like this video is really cool or you're vibing with it. Really helps me, makes me feel better, you guys. So let's get started. We're gonna take a look at your overall character. What archetype are you bringing to this film? And then we're gonna develop the story. So let's see. Okay, so you're not coming up alone. So we have the Two of Cups. You're a very romantic partnership energy. So you could be starring in this movie like as a spouse or in a relationship or with a family or with a close friend. We'll get into this more. But you are really good with your castmates. You have really good connections with your castmates. I feel like you're going to work really well throughout the scenes with your co-stars. So your overall character... that Two of Cups, I mean, that's someone you want on your team in a horror film. There could be like a love story, of course, going on in the background of your film. But this Two of Cups is someone that's going to help save your life. Someone that would give their life for someone else. So I wouldn't be surprised, pile number one, right off the bat, if you guys die. But we'll kind of get into it. You guys would die with honor, though, okay? And that's just for your loved one, and I would hope people would do that in real life. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. You might be that character that they're like, oh, they're gonna die right away. Love prevails. Okay, you as an actual superstar. And like, what do the Rotten Tomatoes say about you and your performance in this horror film? Yes, we're getting full details. So the 10 of Cups actually came out, so congratulations. This is like a really good family movie. Like, you know, maybe it does have some love stuff, but like, everyone's seen this movie. Like, everyone in your family's seen this movie. You know, people going out to watch scary movies bring their kids all the time. Like, it's normal. I'm gonna bring my kid. Shit. But yeah, the 10 of Cups is a very fulfilling, happy, warm, successful energy. So people really loved your performance. Again, there is a cohesiveness with the cast members or with like a family. So you guys could have done really, really well in this performance. And I feel like it would have done really good for you. Good job, you guys. Pal number one, you're already stealing the hearts of the viewers. And yeah, let's kind of, you're very family oriented too, but this reading's, you know, not really about you. We'll take a look. It seems like if you were famous, you'd have it all. Wouldn't we all? All right, we're gonna develop the actual horror movie storyline now. So let's kind of take a look at how things start out. What? Okay, so this is the first time I've ever done a reading like this. The King of Bows, or the King of Wands adder, which is actually a bunch of snakes sitting around in a den, and then there's a couple of them above. So we also have the Hooded Man here, which is kind of an eerie situation if we look at both of these together. The Hooded Man is literally like a stranger coming to your house and knocking on your door and trying to get in. And if you see me looking down, I'm actually looking at the screen because that glare is, you know, horrendous. Oh, look, it's gone. Okay. So, whoa, that could be something too. So the King of Bows, well, I took this as kind of like, I mean, there's snakes everywhere, sneaking around, slithering around in cracks that you can't really see. And the Hooded Man is kind of someone who's sneaking around. Like, this could be a home invasion kind of movie. Okay. So that is one option. Oh, or it could be like a remote location like Cabin Fever, and, you know, there's someone outside. So this is kind of how things are starting out. I feel like things could be super hectic at first between, you know, you and the other people interacting in the storyline. There could be multiple people within this storyline. It could be a really complex puzzle kind of storyline going along with it, where there's a lot of people right off the bat where you aren't getting along with in the storyline or aren't seeing eye to eye with. There's already a lot of conflict in the storyline. And we do have in this Hooded Man, there is like a little bird too sitting here, which also talks about like messengers and the significance of that in kind of like a warning. So I feel like there's definitely some things at the beginning of the film that can definitely foreshadow to what may happen or who may be, you know, already getting a grudge. So we could know that there's a killer from the start as well, that maybe you and the main characters aren't really aware of. So, and I definitely feel like there's a lot of peering through windows, a lot of stalking. So at first it could start off with, you know, you and your friends on a, oh, okay. So interesting. Pile number one, are you guys the killer? Like, so there is some kind of creepy, like, stalker vibes. And also with you coming out your main character as the Two of Cups, a very romantic card. Either, you know, you could go on a date with someone, or, you know, you follow them home or they follow you home kind of situation, and just like start following throughout the day constantly with that King of Bows or the King of Wands with all of those snakes intertwined. They're following you through all winds, wherever you're going throughout the day with the Hooded Man, and really watching you and stalking you. y'all got a stalker or like someone looking into your house. Also, as we move on through the story, so we're going to kind of start to look at where things start to climax, or what caused the climax, which is like the breaking point or something. I don't remember. Sorry, college English. You gave me 2 credits though. But it's funny. There might be some comedy relief, which again, we do have the family review was really good for you guys, so like they definitely recommend you bring your family to it. It's a good film for like all kinds of people who like horror films. So you did a really versatile role in this movie, I feel like. And we also have the 10 of Wands, which is confidence, and it talks about, you know, really portraying your character to such depth. Pile number 1, you guys are, I think you guys are killers. So I think you're like, nah, bitch, it's either kill or be killed, and you guys will find out. So, ow. It's so like creepy though. We do have the King of Bows being all intertwined and all snaky with that hooded man sneaking around literally and just standing outside of the door. I feel like it was a real quiet night after a real busy day, and all you wanted to do was just kind of sit down and unwind. Maybe you were showering or in a bath, and maybe you were just about to make sweet, sweet love to your Hollywood crush in your favorite scene. And then there was a scream. Oh my god, I scared my dog. I had to do it. Is this a Halloween special? Okay. This confidence card, the 10 of Bows, okay? There's literally a mouth wide open screaming. You cannot tell me that your climactic point does not start with, you know, either your kid or, you know, someone else that's in the movie just letting out that blood-curdling scream during that absolutely silent, serene, or just mundane moment in the movie. It's one of those jump scares. You guys have a lot of jump scares, and I feel like it's really creepy as far as who's watching you. Alright, so now your killer has been revealed in your horror film. Let's find out. Let's maybe at least get a little bit of a closer look. Pile number 1, are you guys your killer? Are you out here killing and slashing people? We have focus and then act. Yo, I'm getting chills. This video is, I'm so glad I did this. Y'all should have voted for this. So we have number 12 adds up to a 3, and it says focus and then act. You guys, yo, so I feel like you guys are the killer. You have had your eye on a victim. You guys literally like must have planned out this kind of killing or stalking, just some dark horse in the back shadows. I feel like there could be, there with that dark horse in this picture, there could be a past history between you and who you're going after. So let's kind of see what else do we got, because that 12 adds up to a 3, so it could almost be like a third party situation, and you guys came out as the 2 of Cups. You guys could be a jealous lover, or just someone who is just pining, obsessing over someone who, I don't know. We'll get into it. We'll get some more. We have tons more to go to. All right, so that's supposed to give us an in-look to our first glimpse at the killer in your horror story, and we're gonna take a look at what energies do the other people in the cast bring to the story. So what do your castmates, what do the other people in the storyline bring, and bring it forward. Okay, we have Leo. So there's definitely some fighting going on. I do feel like there is some invasion, as far as like, I feel like you were probably in your home or somewhere that you felt safe. Sorry, it was my dog. Again, you could have been somewhere you felt safe, or it could have been like the first time staying at someone else's house. I feel like you could have like went on a date and then stayed over at someone's house, and then shit just hit the fan while you were sleeping over at this person's place. Because with that 10 of bows is also like traditionally the 10 of wands is very, very like, I mean, 10's completion. It's the highest number other than the court cards. And wands are sexual energies too. So, and we have a mouth there with that mouth do. There could have been, you know, a makeout scene. There could have been a really hot sex scene too, you know, with your Hollywood crush, okay? And with your castmates bringing this Leo confident energy, maybe you get saved, or maybe you're like the damsel in distress, and your spouse is going to, you and your spouse are going to fight to like save your home or to survive through whatever entrapment. Maybe you guys are being held prisoner as well, and you guys scream, and finally someone hears you guys and is able to break you free. But with the Leo, there's a lot of fire energy, a lot of combative energy. So your castmates are fighting back towards the killer. Does that mean you guys are having a little bit of struggle in your overall plans? It does show focus and then act. It says focus and then act. Maybe the killer, you know, kind of slipped up, didn't really think something through, was a little bit frustrated. Maybe someone who was tied up or chained up kind of let out that squeal that they shouldn't have slipped. And so now they caught the killer slipping. What he gonna do? Is he gonna die? Is the killer gonna die? We'll find out more about you, pile number 1. Alright, let's see. Let's progress the storyline a little bit further. What is happening in this horror film? And is pile number 1 going to live or die? So, pile number 1, we're moving it forward a little bit in the story. So whoever was chained, you know, let's say, I'm thinking it's more of you guys. I feel like I don't think you guys are the killer anymore. But if you feel like you're resonating somehow or placing yourself into one of these character roles, I'll definitely try to play both sides. But there's a prisoner. And I feel like this could be actually your guys' character, since you did show up the 2 of Cups, a romantic energy. And I feel like either the killer came into your house, or maybe they kidnapped you and actually brought you to their deep dark lair and had you chained up or like prisoned for quite some time. And I feel like they brought your significant other spouse in the movie down there with you. In the horror film. Sorry, I never record at night. I usually record at day, so forgive this. That's why I decided to do something I've never done. But the 7 of Cups is kind of like a worshiping energy, and she's just sitting there almost like she can't get up, and there's just there's 3 people. There's more than enough people than what she needs to be servicing her. So I feel like as they held you captive, they were just, you know, living out their fantasies and making you act out all of these different kind of scenarios and pretend like life was good with them. But I feel like your character has a mouth. Ow, my eye like popped. Oh my gosh, maybe you guys get like your eye gouged out or something, because with that 2 of Cups, it's kind of like people-pleasing energy. You know, like really being giving and taking in a relationship. Maybe you decided to just not give to this person anymore. And with this mouth kind of energy being the conflict, I feel like you're just so confident in what you have to say, and maybe in the past history that you had with your killer, you aren't going to tell them what they want to hear from you. And the only reason why they've been kind of keeping you alive for the meantime and servicing it to you is this Ace of Cups. Sorry, the wrong one. It's backwards. But the Ace of Cups. So this person has, the killer has deep, 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 deep feelings for you. They have a lot of mental love for you. Or just like, this person is, you know, a killer, so they're mentally ill, to say. So that's the only reason why they've really been keeping your character alive. I feel like pile number 1, you guys may be surviving in your horror story. This is to give more detail of the killer. So if we connect these two, so the Netflix show You, I think when it's like the guy is super obsessive about his girlfriends and then he stalks them and I think he kills them, and like I think one girl he does keep captive, like in his, spoiler alert, library. But yeah, that's like totally these kinds of vibes in this, because there's definitely stalker energy with this focused and then act. Clarifying our killer, we have the Six of Bows, abundance, to kind of give us that background information we needed on him. The Six of Bows is a community card. This abundance, it takes a whole community to really, you know, make a full year's worth of harvest to feed the tribe, to feed the community. So this person has been watching you around town. I feel like this person could have been part of a group session scenario that you went to, because earlier in the story when we had this King of Bows or the King of Wands being very active and busy and involved and intertwined in a lot of day-to-day activities. And so I feel like you guys could have been, you know, at a farmer's market or at some kind of art class, and this person saw you, and there's something about you that could have reminded them about their mother who they had lost long, long ago, and someone that they've been searching for, and this person may have gotten so lost in searching for this other person that they just had to fulfill their needs. I don't know. But this person's a part of your community, the killer is, so they've been closely knit to you for quite some time. They might be someone that you were a familiar face with, and it was such a beautiful face. They just had to have it. And your attitude, your character's attitude is what drove them over the edge. We're going to flip over 2 more cards to resolve. Would you live or die? And are you guys the killer, or would your killer die? What's kind of gonna go on with this conflict? Because it looks like they're just keeping you alive, keeping you nurtured and fed because they love you. They're obsessed with you. They've been obsessed with you since the moment they saw you from the inside of your house. So that's creepy. 2 more, tying up the film. Pile number 1 is proud of me to say for you guys that you, my friends, by the end of your 5-star Rotten Tomato film of horror, would you live or would you survive or die? Well, the answer is both. Looks like after this Six of Bows, this abundance, I feel like they keep you for quite some time, but there is a community aspect as well, where it's almost like, let's see, how do they get caught? How does your killer get caught or killed? So you guys get a little bit of leverage on these emotions that your killer has for you, keeping you hostage, holding you prisoner. I feel like you're able to kind of pull at these heartstrings a little bit. There might be a little bit of seducing for your own good, of course. And we have the Four of Cups here. So there is like the killer himself feeling a little bit down, you know, maybe not having the best mindset with keeping someone captive in their basement or in their own home. Maybe this is your home as well that you're being held in. So maybe the killer is just living out a marriage or relationship with you within your own household, keeping you prisoner. So that would be weird if you're like one of your ex-boyfriends that you, or girlfriends, sorry, that anyone that you had, you know, if you ended things with someone, if they just, that's creepy. Okay, protect yourselves, guys. Arm yourselves. All right, so the killer, man, he's a little bit down and out. He's feeling a little bit low on himself, maybe, you know, starting to realize what they're doing might be wrong, actually, too. I mean, people can have moments of, you know, psychotic energy, and then, you know, even killers can have their oh shit moments. But I feel like if this was your house, also, there could have been, like, you had a kid that came home from college or, like, some vacation, and they show up all excited to just, you know, like, come home and kind of see you, and they see this strung out slasher just probably in your house, and they're like, Ted, I thought you and mom were done like 2 years ago, like, or something like that. And all of a sudden the kid has to fight for themselves as well. I feel like this Two of Cups energy is coming in as far as there's a lot of family involvement with your movie, or a lot of being saved by others, like I said earlier, or someone willing to give their life for you. Wouldn't that be a tragic twist of events if your, you know, spawn died trying to save you in the story of the horror story, which is very horror story. But, and it does look like maybe your spawn or your child actually fights off your killer and is able to free you with that page of, yeah, I believe that's a Page of Swords. So they're very young, fresh, intelligent, innovative energy, very upper hand. Like, I feel like they would come in and be the next generation. Or, oh my gosh. So I think you guys would have a sequel. So this could be like your kid's like actual father in the movie, okay? And that's why when he comes back, he's like, what are you doing here? You know, what the fuck? And they fight it out. Maybe your child actually wins, and I feel like this takes a toll on them, and they actually grow up to become more like this person than they ever thought or feared that they would, because it brings them back to that day every day. So I feel like that could really haunt the other people involved in the movie, other, like, if we go by this storyline. Definitely would get a sequel for you guys. Congratulations, you ended up with a child spawn killer and a crazy ex who either invades your home or keeps you held prisoner within their own enclosures. This was really weird. I don't know. I have nothing else to do on nights like these, so if you guys enjoyed this video, let me know. Thank you for letting me even just, like, try these new things. I mean, if you watch this all the way through, I'm super proud of you. So thank you for joining. And if you liked it, like I said, let your girl know. You can subscribe to vote on what videos I post next. I actually do, listen and look at those polls and vote for the top 2 or top 3 so I can deliver what you guys are just kind of interested in. And you can always comment too. Let me know what you're looking for in any kind of tarot readings, and maybe I'll just post it. So thank you guys for joining, and I will see you next time. Hello everyone, my name is Trittany and I'm the reader here at the Crown and Castle Collective, where we're all kings and queens of our own kingdom that we call life. This is a pick a pile reading. I did actually do first pile in the introduction to this video one night. I was like, literally, it was way too late for me to be up to finishing the video, and so yeah, here I am 2 days later, wrapping things up, picking up where we left off, which is pile number 2. So thank you guys for joining me. We're going to kind of have a little fun with this reading. It was really interesting. Pile number 1. It was a little bit rough for me, honestly. Sorry about the sniffles. It's just I have this window open. Today is actually a really, really beautiful fall winter day here. So let's go ahead. We're gonna take a look at you as your character, kind of like your archetype, you as a superstar, holla, and then we're also going to try to remember what the spread was kind of going through. Yes, so we're gonna look at how the storyline develops, how it begins, and then what is kind of the turning point, the tipping point. We're gonna take a look at your killer. What do they reveal themselves as? What about your co-stars, or who else, shows up in the movie with you? Might have to, let's see. Yeah, you can't quite see these last 3. But we'll kind of further develop the story and see how things tie up. So this is going to be really fun. It's going to be a lot of back and forth, and this is the first time I've ever done a reading like this. So if you're having fun, if you enjoy it, let me know. Give the video a like, or you can subscribe to actually see what videos I post next. As far as voting, you can actually vote on what you want to see next. So pile number 2, would you die or survive a horror film? This is your reading. Let's go ahead and take a look. Okay, so right away, your character's role or their archetype in this movie of horror, you might be someone of wealth, of establishment, someone who gets a really good opportunity or gets invited to a really high up event or social gathering, or someone who holds that kind of position. Let's take a look at you as a superstar, or no, this card is actually supposed to show us how do people think your performance in this horror film are. So we have the Sun card, which is a very bright card, a very happy card. So people feel like you did really good at playing your part in this movie of horror. You are the lead star is what I'm getting. So you could be the person trying to escape, trying to survive. The protagonist, I believe it is. Or it's antagonist. Someone's gonna correct me. Correct me if I'm wrong. Like, please. Nicely, though. Do it nicely. So, people could think you're really good to work with on set. Let's also take a look at the horror story. So how is that actually starting? We're going to take a look if you die or if you survive early on. Since it looks like you play such a lead role or a favorite part of people in this movie, then I think you guys are going to survive. That's kind of my gut instinct. I feel like maybe you guys, if you ever found yourself in one of these opportunities where you had to fight for your life in a horror film, maybe you guys are badasses and you're gonna just totally whip that ass. So let's go ahead developing the horror story. How do things kind of start off? Number 5, the ancestor. So you could be a place of your past. You could be with family members. The ancestor talks about, of course, people who came before us. And also this can be rituals of older times. So there is a lot of that. There is this ring around the rosy kind of action going on, as well to the sound of a drum. So you could also be starring in, like I'm getting, some kind of out in nature kind of cult horror film, or, you know, escaping attempts. Let's kind of get the storyline more developed here. In this film, you go back to your childhood or a place of your past, somewhere that may have held memories from you in this life, or maybe in lives before. Maybe you were kind of working through some therapy, and your character decided that it would be healing and beneficial for them to return to this place of their past, and it's going to cause them to dive deeper into their psyche with this King of Arrows. The arrows represent mind, mental clarity. So the kingfisher is it's a bird that swoops down very, very close to the water, although it does not go underwater. I mean, it might duck its head, but it's at least grabbing the insects that are close to the top. And in the sense, oh, there is a bee. There's a little bee on the window. He just landed. You could see his little butt crawling around as a black spot. He's doing circles, mad circles. Okay, so, yes, you guys are going to be kind of on a downward spiral, I feel like, through this trip that you may be taking on the horror film. So I feel like it could be kind of like a mental thriller, mind games kind of movie. Also, I feel like you're someone who can like see things from the past, or pick up on things from the past of maybe on the land that you are at. Or, yeah, I don't know if we're going to kind of develop the killer. We can actually get a profile of them later in the reading, but I'm not sure if it's actually a physical person or not. What is kind of coming after you in this horror film? Might it be your own mind? All right, let's take a look at the climax of your horror story. Would you survive or die? Would your climax moment reveal a sudden death? Oh my god, this is totally a mind game, like a total mind game movie. We have the Ace of Wands, memory. So as soon as like there's this kind of like, again, deep submersion underwater, kind of coming to the top and actually reaching above it. So I'm sorry if it's really dark, the lighting in here is kind of weird. But the memory is the key word here with the Ace of Wands. So as soon as your character kind of like flashes back or has a epiphany and realization of where they are and what they're doing and the significance of that, I feel like there is some deep tantra stuff going on here. So I definitely feel like the Ace of Wands is a very physical card too in itself. So, but memory is fighting with your mind. So I feel like you guys actually might have to come to your wits and fight a physical fight. Let's take a look at the next card, which is going to kind of reveal to us what your memory is sparking against, who is the real enemy who is trying to eliminate you in your horror film of Would You Survive or Die? Killer, reveal yourself. So, you guys, if you really like, if you have a preference to horror films as well, like some people like ghost, paranormal activity horror films, some people don't. They like more home invasion or just more, you know, suspense, thriller. There's just so many genres, you know. Now, I personally love horror films. So, in this one, as far as who your killer would reveal themselves as, their overall energy, we have number 44, Surrender to the Flow. So this is a card of, you know, going with the motions from one dimension to another, as far as raising your vibration or passing along, going through the the whirls. So again, what this main concept is that I'm getting is that something is stuck in surrendering to the flow. If you are into more just like the even basic spiritual knowledge, okay, if there is something that's stuck on this plane, typically in horror films, it's a ghost that is just clinging on to the 3D realm and just is not surrendering to the flow or to the process of stepping into higher dimensions and, you know, healing their soul essence and just really passing on into higher areas of development or higher dimensions. So I just feel like it's something that could be untangible like that. there's also too some weird memory stuff going on here with that card. So it's almost like, oh no, sorry. He's big upsetty spaghetti. No one's here. There's just someone blasting music. Hey! He's big upset. I apologize. Okay. So, we'll kind of get further into that as far as how the killer's energy is going to kind of mesh with your storyline. That does get played out here soon and in the final details, the final hours. So this card is actually supposed to represent what your other castmates or anyone else involved in the storyline is kind of bringing to the story. We have Aquarius, air sign energy. There again was a psyche. I feel like for some of you there could be a leader, like a cult leader or a hierarchy in the facility of like monks or cultism that you're interacting with. But there is a sense of other multiple members as well. So if it's like a ghostly kind of story, there could be a chain of people that have experienced the energies of that area, or people who have passed, or people who were involved in the killing. So it's a very complex story with many, many people involved. But there's one person in particular that's kind of been pulling the strings, honestly. And I feel like there is a sense of like a parent or a guardian or a doctor as well that's kind of encouraging this deep submergence of mind and psyche evaluation, maybe even taking some like different kind of drugs as well, like psychoanalytical drugs with the Ace of Wands. So you know, that could be a good experience as well. And I feel like your character might actually be really benefiting from this development and really releasing and letting go. But there is a power struggle. There is a higher force pushing against your character's development. Let's step into developing the storyline a couple more inches. So the Four of Wands, definitely indicative of a family or home life, a physical home life. And when we think the Four of Wands, it can be marriage, it can be commitment ceremony, but also physical structures of the home life and the community. So again, there is a sense of like there might be some kind of cult energy in this horror film. Do things tend to go wrong? I mean, it's looking pretty promising to me, but there's something and on the climax where your character has a realization or a memory of something. Let's kind of get in more. Whoa. Oh, it's super scary. Okay, so the Two of Wands, they're literally worshiping a painting on the wall. They're all on their knees, and there's even like mummified bodies, which is quite beautiful, honestly, if you think about it, because there is a deity worship. So like in its pure form, it is beautiful. This could be also, you know, if this is a cult horror film, if we know that this is not gonna end pretty, this is kind of creepy, just like creepy worshiping and communal vibes, like definitely cult movies with the Four of Wands as well. Multiple masses of people. And we know people are dying. Like, Alright, so we're gonna get one more sneak peek or one more hint, also clarifying the killer in their energy, the alternative force, or the antagonist in your story. Or protagonist, you know, you can still correct me on that. We have the pole star. Okay, so if it's a little bit dark for you to see, I don't know where is a good area to like hold this. There is just a single person, a single soul, a single being in essence, walking alone on this trail in a forest, while there is, you know, the North Star being swooned and surrounded and rotated, being just, you know, surrounded by all of these other stars swooshing around. And there is a sense of aloneness, but there also is a sense of purpose, self-purpose, and self-direction, and not really listening or following what other people are doing. So I feel like that can come from your character. So maybe this is a really good community, but at one point in time there was one person, and he really wanted to join whatever kind of communal vibe was going on here, cult maybe, or tribe. You know, I feel like this doesn't even have to be from our time era too. I feel like this could be like Indians as well, because they would take psychoanalytical stuff like that, or psilocybin. You know, like they would take the mushrooms, the LSD, the peyote, all of that good to kind of go through those healings and actually step into those subconscious and talk to ancestors and talk to leaders and people of their past. And with the Sun card, it was a thing of generations. It was a thing of, you know, happiness and generational giving and receiving. And there is smoke here too, this opportunity coming from smoke and kind of this secluded garden. And with the Ace of Pentacles being someone of rich or higher status, they're typically the ones, you know, in the community that they would like to use as vessels. There could have been a selection where you were decided that you were going to be this vessel, but from a young age I feel like you've always known that there was something different about you, or maybe you had a fear of using this vessel because of who you were. But at one point in time in this tribe or this community, there was one significant person who, you know, tried to fit in, tried to function with this group that may have actually been rejected or secluded or kicked out, you know, just someone who was kind of found out that they were all alone on themselves, with themselves, while everyone else was kind of in their grouping. So this could be an outsider who was once on the inside, kind of coming back to maybe slaughter the whole community, unfortunately. So we're furthering this story and kind of tying things up. Let me just, you know, scoot things up here so you guys can take a look. Better? Awesome. Okay. So, the next card that we have is, again, more loner energy with the Eight of Cups. Is someone who I feel like has an emotional grudge towards this experience or towards this group of people, because the pole star does, you know, kind of talk about going out on your own path, following your own North Star, following and creating your own adventure. And the Eight of Cups talks about, you know, kind of picking a battle with yourself or with your emotions and kind of sitting with it for a while, you know, just kind of removing it from everything else that's stressing you and just really walking and having time alone on it with yourself. Or this is, you know, this could also be a grudge, someone that doesn't know when to put something down, someone who just lets everything add up because they're never really dealing with anything. They're kind of just turning their back and walking away. So this person's had pent up aggression or regrets, revenge kind of status against you or these people. I feel like it's not just you being targeted. I feel like this is like a mass murderer kind of situation. And I think you find yourself just caught in the moment with this aggressor, with that memory card, because it's kind of just like you weren't even thinking about it. It's just kind of like a pop-up, oh shit, natural instinct kind of moment, you know, with your memory or your muscle memory even. But are you trained for it? Let's kind of see if we can get an answer here in the last card of, would you survive or die in this horror film, your character? People really loved your performance. They did give you a full number 19, the Sun card, which is, you know, you're ultimately one of the brightest characters or the brightest actors and actresses that they had seen in this film, and they loved every moment that you were in it. and they feel like you were very expressive. Maybe you were looking very glowy, very vibrant, very beautiful and natural in this film. I feel like it is a very natural. It's like the summer, that one summer cult video, if you know what I'm talking about. Yeah, let's find out. Are you guys going to survive or die? We have the High Priestess, which, followed by this Eight of Cups, this kind of picking up and leaving off thing. It's kind of like a cliffhanger, you know, kind of situation where you don't really give all the answers and you kind of walk away with the answer and make people wait it out until you return, until you decide to come back with your mind made up of how things are going to continue. And also with the High Priestess is someone who is of secrecy, but also someone who is of very, very high status. If we think of any kind of, you know, spiritual community structure or anything like that in society, the High Priestess is one of, you know, the Omegas. So I was kind of picking up on this earlier. With the Four of Wands, I feel like you just kind of come into this community. It really is this storyline of horror films. It's kind of more of that mental thriller, mental kind of puzzle. As far as cult and other dimensional works, I don't know. I feel like you come into that community and you do really well and you have a lot of opportunities, a lot to offer, and people start to recognize, you know, your performance, but it's almost like, it's almost like the person that is leading this group or this community is actually kind of a false figure. I feel like they're not actually the brains behind the operation. I feel like you can kind of step in and actually, you may be getting close to this person. And again, when you first came through, you were the Ace of Pentacles. So someone who's already very, very well established or already in this circle or community. Maybe you've actually been here for a long time. So I feel like you kind of see through the bullshit if it's any kind of scam. But anyways, the way that the video is ending with the Eight of Cups and the High Priestess, it's a very unclear answer. This is a cliffhanger. This is we'll be back, a second episode, a second movie, you know, a prequel. So there is some unfinished answers, or it just leaves literally the fact of whether you lived or you survived kind of vague and up for discussion. So that is a really typical way for these kinds of films to end, I feel like. Ooh, and people really, I mean, they want more. They want more. But as far as your character, I feel like they could survive. They could die. It's definitely left open. But I feel like also the same goes for the killer or whoever the aggressor was at some sort of level, whether this was, you know, from other earthly beings or those who are stuck here, or even from leadership roles or people who are coming from the outside. If there was an outside aggressor, I feel like this person could have gotten away, but they could have gotten away with a lot as well. I feel like they did a lot of damage. It was something that was well planned out and was, you know, kind of like the killer had this in the bag. I feel like they went through so many of these members, or at least eliminated so many people over time, and did it all with such secrecy. And it's almost like it was premeditated. But I feel like there's almost even like a war of worlds kind of energy. The High Priestess is going to build her army and come back, you know, and fight on the enemy grounds and kind of play it out too and have her shit in the bag. So I don't know, maybe your character steps up to this. You guys, you are a survivor, and you are also someone who just, you know, keeps people guessing. I don't know. Yeah. But really, that's all I have for this. I don't know. I feel like your guys' was so clear. I'm sorry, I'm just not going to do runes. I don't really know what the runes would show me that this hasn't already. I feel like it was a pretty cohesive story, so I think that is really cool that you guys would survive. Let me know in the comments how this resonated with you, if you enjoyed kind of getting this fun, different type of reading. Maybe it resonates with some part of your physical life or your preference to movies. So thank you guys for watching. Give the video a like, or you can subscribe to actually vote on what I post next. So thank you guys. I will see you next time. Hello, pile number 3, the final finale. Do you guys live and survive, or do you die in a horror film? So this is kind of like a really different, fun kind of reading for me to just kind of, you know, kind of get out of the groove of the normal relationship career spreads. So this is kind of fun. I'm just, you know, having fun with myself. And I am actually recording at a different time of day. I started this video and did pile number 1 actually one night when I was up far later than anyone should be. So yeah, I just, you know, I tapped out on that. So I am 2 days back, fresh, recharged, ready to go. This is an intuitive reading, so we're gonna kind of take a look at a couple of things. And if you feel like this video resonates with you along the way, let me know in the comments if you have a preference to any kind of horror film, or how this might be resonating with your physical real life. So let's take a look, and we're gonna take a look at your character's archetype, kind of what the audience thought of your performance, or you as a star yourself. We're going to develop the story, take a look at what that climax might be, the turning point in the in the story. Yeah. We're going to take a look at your killer, his overall or her overall, their overall energy. What is kind of their profile, or letting themselves be known. Your cast, what kind of energy do they bring to the storyline? And then we're going to develop the story a little bit more, and then get a resolution and learn a little bit more about who that killer was and how they tied into your life. Pile number 3. This is your reading of Would You Survive or Die, a horror film. Your character's overall archetype or job in the storyline. We have the 9 of Swords. Oh, pile number 3, you guys are an anxious little bug. The 9 of Swords might actually be someone who is terrified the entire movie. So you could be a victim, a very early victim, or someone who's just terrorized throughout the entire film. There is a sense of being at home as well, in their own bed. So this could be something that takes place in your own home. Let's take a look at what your performance was like. What did the audience have to say? The 3 of Cups. So people actually really enjoyed your role in this movie. The 3 of Cups is a very emotional card as well. So you could be like, you could be the damsel in distress, and honestly, like, you don't even have to be a woman or portraying a woman in this film to just be absolutely terrified and just an absolute mess. It could be really cat and mouse as well between you and the aggressor. Because I feel like it's a constant up and down. I mean, you're constantly, you know, anxious the entire film. At least your character is. And let's further develop your storyline. We have the 7 of Stones, healing. And we also have the Ace of Stones, life, the foundation of life. So this Seven of Stones healing card to me is, you know, just showing some person who is receiving that kind of healing. And the same person, I feel like there's a sickly person that is really anxious, that's really worried. I feel like in this horror film, you could be, oh my god, it could be like one of those butterfly effect movies where like you wake up during your surgery or something like that, or you're worried about doing that. Maybe that is something that happens. Just like the last pile, you know, these killers come in all shapes and forms. And with the Seven of Stones healing and Foundation of Life, Ace of Pentacles, this gives me a home. I don't know why my words are so scissored right now. I feel like this is a family member. I feel like you could be taking care of someone sick in this horror film. Or, you know, it could be a suspense, a thriller kind of action film. Because this is also giving me almost zombie apocalypse energy. We're gonna see what kind of happens. But there is a sense of needing to heal, maybe like an illness or something, and trying to find a cure with that Ace of Stones, kind of like that answer, that resolution, that physical development of having a tangible creation or a tangible vaccine. Fascinating. What is the actual word I was trying to think of? I don't know. But this is also giving me mad scientist kind of vibes. Like maybe you spend a lot of time down in your dungeon, you know, just absolutely tired, putting in so much work, stressing yourself out trying to find those answers. And it's totally like the Will I Am, what is it called? I Am Legend, I think. Where he's like trying to find the cure and he's all alone. Let's take a look at your climax or your turning point. What kind of causes the conflict of the horror to start to arise? Does your killer come after you? And does this climax turning point result in your annihilation? Let's take a look. We have the Two of Pentacles, breath. And right away, during the point of conflict, I feel like your killer reveals himself. We have number 19, Know You Belong. Feel like also too in this horror film, you guys could actually be like stuck inside. It could be like a suspense movie as well. Kind of like, again, there's that post-apocalyptic feeling in that, you know, with the healing card being something that is, you know, safe and nurturing and open, to come out with the breath, again, there's so much green here. But your character is so bleak. So I feel like this is actually their environment, or maybe part of the storyline is that it's not safe to be outside in the physical world. There might be something wrong with the air quality, with breath. I feel like there could be, again, with the Nine of Swords being so air energy, I feel like there could be a sense of intake. There could be drugs. There could be psychoanalytical or psilocybin drugs. Your person could be inhaling substances and going cuckoo. This card is really difficult for me to read, so I will come back to this. This is supposed to reveal your killer, or kind of give them like their profile. And the Know You Belong, number 19, is just kind of showing that there's just an unwelcomed energy, or that you know where you belong, or you know where you can and cannot go. So we'll get more answers to that card later. We're gonna also look at who else is involved in the storyline. What other cast members do you have? What are they bringing to the table and to the storyline? Are they getting slashed? Are they surviving? Are they escaping? We have Neptune. Water sign energy, ruling Pisces. Pisces too, since we were kind of getting like with this climax also being the breath, the inhalation or the intake, I feel like there is a sense of poison with this Neptune card also ruling Pisces. Pisces can be physical addictions, or I mean chemical addictions. It could be an addiction to alcohol as well, or any kind of substance abuse. So I feel like the other characters in the story as well might be what are really dragging you guys down and decreasing your chances of surviving, honestly. Or maybe someone else puts your life into danger because maybe you were so safe in this space and something draws you out or tempts you, or I feel like your person could even go crazy and just crack. Or maybe you're doing actual crack in the movie. Maybe like your character just spirals down in the horror film. I mean, sometimes they like accidentally get drugged. I don't know. We'll step into it. I didn't mean to call you guys anything. All right, let's see. We have the Four of Pentacles. So there is a sense earlier that we had in the storyline of kind of being alone, being secluded, doing things our own way. And in the storyline, we're seeing another group of people that hold conflict against where you are. This could be again, I'm getting like another post-apocalyptic, because like we start off all nice and fancy. These are two very contrasted community cards, with the Four of Pentacles being very structured. We have, we have plenty of food and plenty of fabrics and plenty of resources. It's a very stable community and stable foundation. And then to come out with the Ten of Swords in this deck is a very devastating card, to be quite exact. There is a lot of despair, a lot of just exhaustion and elimination. Unfortunately, 10 is completion. So I feel like a whole race, a whole community could have been wiped out, and you might have survivor's guilt, or you could be one of the last and surviving. I feel like your character, and unfortunately in your horror film, again, it might not be an actual physical person. I feel like it might be more of your headspace. It might be one of those kind of mental horror films, if those are more your type. But let's say that this could be someone. So you have an actual attacker in your horror film. Give us more insight into their character. Ooh, okay, so we have the Eight of Bows. The Eight of Bows, Hearthfire. Again, there is a lot of community cards coming out in these readings. So this is actually someone that I feel like is a part of your guys' friends group. You guys might have gotten double crossed. I feel like your character might actually end up, unfortunately, dead. Or at least, some kind of devastating ending in this horror films. And this has nothing to say about you yourself, but this is just like your character, who you would portray. And for the sake of the storyline, sometimes your character just has to fully develop and take that dying scene, because even such timeless characters have died times and times again. Just to think of Romeo and Juliet. But there could be a love story as well. But as far as your killer goes, I feel like this is someone who might try to actually suffocate you with the Breath card. And the Two of Pentacles is Two of Earth, someone who we keep close to us and in our surrounding, someone who we talk to a lot as well with the Breath card, who we communicate with a lot. And I feel like this person might have been actually within your your family or your communal circle as well, but although you still stayed a little bit secluded or a little bit away from this person, I feel like you might have also watched this person go mad or lose their mind. And you could have tried to take care of them, and you could have tried to, you know, change them. But I feel like this person, they were close to you, but you were not as close as you thought they were. Alright, we're gonna get the resolutions here of would your character survive or die. We're gonna kind of tie up the storyline and see where this, you know, wants stable community and foundation crumble to that 10 of Swords energy. Who knows, maybe they got bombed. The Knight of Cups and the 9 of Wands. Would you guys survive or die in a horror film? So with this Knight of Cups, this is definitely coming from someone who is close to you, someone who you once cared about, or you thought that they once cared about you. They could have cared too much. Maybe this is someone who you thought you could get away from, and maybe they scarred you for life. And maybe like there was an instance that happened a long time ago, and it really scarred you, and you had to carry that through your whole life. And so you were, you know, afraid of this moment your whole life, and then like they come back one day and they get you again. I feel like and it's almost like you fall for one of their traps, or this aggressor is very, very deceptive. They're very sneaky. They can blend in with your environment or with you know, where you're physically at. So I feel like they're just very sneaky and kind of strategic and make their move in. And then we also have the 9 of Wands, which in this, traditionally the 9 of Wands is the wounded warrior, or one who puts up a fight. And surprisingly in this deck, I mean, it looks like she won, but she's surprised. And she actually has a wand in each hand, so you know she's putting in twice the amount of work. So I feel like you guys actually end up fighting for your life and actually end up surviving. There's more than one aggressor as well. There's a group, so again, this could be an apocalyptic movie, I feel like. So there could have been something that was once sold as a cure or a resolution or something of good intent, and with the Knight of Cups, there's also a shark swimming under the water, so there are alternative motives. There's something beneath the surface that is dangerous, that's not known of, and that can come back to bite you. So I feel like this could be a zombie style of movie that really gave the world a reckoning, and you kind of had a moment or a close call. Your character ends up surviving. Congratulations, pile number 3. Y'all are a bunch of survivors. You guys are willing to fight. So, excuse me, I had to burp. But yeah, I think that there's some definite zombie vibes in your guys' movie. So that's kind of all I'm getting from you guys. Number 3, I'm gonna just tie up this reading. It was something new to try, honestly, just for my own personal enjoyment. So if you enjoyed it, let me know down in the comments. You can give the video a like or subscribe to actually vote on what videos I post next. So thank you guys for watching, and I will see you later.